So you know my life is usually not scheduled. So I'm going to give you like
Mhm.
today, okay, for
That sounds
example.
perfect.
Yeah, let's do that because this morning was about 7:30 a.m. If I'm filming, it could even be 5 a.m. sometimes. Um, I am promoting a book and a hair care line at the same time, and just got done with promoting a movie. So I feel like I have been on endless promos with like a million Zooms a day. And the thing about Zooms are that you don't get time in the middle to even pee sometimes because it's back to back to back to back.
It's a whole new world. When
It
it comes
really
to,
is.
yeah, when it comes to sleep, are you one of those like 4 hours a night is all I need people, or do you need like a minimum number of hours to
I need
recharge?
a minimum of 8 hours. 8, 9 hours, maybe. I have to have and I need to have time to decompress after I've been working all day. I can't go to bed immediately. That doesn't happen. I have to sit down, like watch TV maybe, hang out a little bit, like really um come down, and only then can I go upstairs, take my makeup off. Like I spend a little
Yeah.
bit of time doing that and then getting into bed. It's a whole situation.
A routine in itself.
Yeah.
Have you
But
been
you
watching
need to be
anything
able
for
to,
the?
especially in this Zoom, like times of Zoom and everyone working from home, life and work are sort of blurring together. And we need to be able to take care of ourselves mentally because I think that is a really large part of where a lot of people are suffering. And I think, you have to prioritize yourself. You must
Yeah.
at the end of, or in the middle of your day between like kids and school and work and all the things, like take a second to take a breath. Otherwise, it's going to be so overwhelming.
Yeah. Do you set a time, do you set aside specific time to like meditate or reflect or anything like that?
I don't meditate. I've never been able to. It's a terrible thing to admit, but I do. My form of it is, switching off at the end of the day. Like I don't look at my phone I don't respond to messages. Like I'm someone that will switch away from engaging, which is, even on the phone and stuff. I just like kind of hang out with my family, watch a movie, have a great dinner. Like I have to be able to decompress outside of technology and the demands technology has of me.
And going back to your Monday mornings, do you have a go-to breakfast or anything like that for starting the week out right?
Yes, I do. I don't know how many people are going to like this, but I love having avocado and fresh orange juice. Those are two
Mm,
things that are a staple for me when I'm having breakfast, especially Monday mornings. Fresh eggs are very important to me. I need to feel like, I have a lined tummy to deal with the whole day, and also two espressos.
you've got to. Um,
Have to.
do you take any vitamins?
Yes, I do. I have a multivitamin and immunity tablet, and I have a superfood tincture from the well,
Mm,
which is amazing and full of all the good things that your body sort of needs. I also do the omegas a couple of times in a week.
nice. And what's your beauty routine like? Is there one step or product that's most important to you?
I think my beauty routine is very, very important to me. I cannot sleep at night without taking off all my makeup. I use a very hydrating face wash. At the moment, I'm using a Baji, and I make sure that once my face is clean, that I take off all my mascara, like nothing, nothing, nothing on the face, and then moisturize with whatever moisturizer and serum really works for you.
Yeah.
At that point, it's really, I have drier skin, and I like to not have makeup when I don't need it. So, having a really amazing moisturizer that stays overnight is very crucial to me. And then
Yeah,
moisturizing the body too.
definitely. Is there a time of the day or week when you're most creative?
I think when I'm not running, so usually that's the weekends. I feel like I'm pretty creative on the weekends, but definitely in the evenings.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not a
I'm,
I'm
oh,
not a
sorry.
day person if I don't have to be.
Well, you have all the Zooms, right? Yeah. And I'm so excited to talk to you about your new book, Unfinished. I read it in one sitting. I loved it.
Oh my gosh, what did you think?
Oh, I loved it so, it both, it made me laugh out loud at points and it also made me tear up at points. It was like, it was a roller coaster and I really enjoyed reading it.
That makes me so
Um,
happy.
yeah, and I thought the perfect way to start talking about your book is right in the intro, you are talking about your overbooked schedule and general busyness. So I wanted to ask if you have like a best time management hack or efficiency technique.
Yes, actually, I do. So the reason why I'm excessively busy is not just because I choose it, but also my job sort of requires, it's not a 9 to 5 job. So you don't know when your next check is coming in. You don't know like where your job is taking you. It's like project to project, right? So it's
Yeah.
very unstable, my job. So I think within that, you kind of just have to react to whatever is required of you whenever it's required of you. Like right now, I'm promoting a book in 4 time zones, so I have to be up in the morning for Australia, in the daytime for the UK, and at night for the US. It's just the requirement of the job. So what has really helped me is compartmentalizing. I think instead of compartmentalizing the various kinds of jobs, I think compartmentalizing work and home. So I dedicate, say, 12 hours a day to work. After that, when I switch off from work, I'm not available. Like I need to, not available even for the pressures of my work. Like
Right.
a movie could have done terribly, or I could be feeling really crappy about something, but I don't feel that pressure. I, in fact, try to disengage with everything. And this is not something I knew all my career, by the way. This is something that I've just about, come to terms with and realized in the last few years that it really helps you be so much more productive.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say it's amazing that you're able to disconnect like that. It does take a lot of work
I
in
think it has to be a
itself.
choice. It
Right.
has to be a choice. You have to choose your health and well-being, and unless you can't do anything about it once the workday is over, except just fretting. And fretting is just going to eat away at your well-being. So it has to be a choice to start fretting tomorrow morning after your first cup of coffee.
Totally. And one of the really fun parts of the book is when you discuss both the Miss India and Miss World pageants that you won. It feels like a whole other world right now, especially. Did any especially like funny or surprising memories come up for you when you were writing that?
Just all of it. And how did I do it? It's insane. I was literally November of 99. I am in high school in a uniform in Army School, Bareilly. And November of 2000, I am in the Millennium Dome being crowned Miss World 2000 at 18. Um, when I was writing about it, it was just like the experience and the absurdity of it. And how did
Yeah.
I navigate that as a teenager who didn't know any better, who didn't know the difference? Like it just made me laugh so much at how enamored I was with everyone else in the room and the glitz and glamour of it all for the first time. It was really funny.
Yeah, yeah. And you write a lot about your parents and their marriage in the book. And one thing that stuck out to me is how you said that they were really equal in all regards in their marriage. What did you learn from them that you've brought into your own marriage?
Having an equal partnership, I think, is very
Yeah.
important. I've always seen that with my parents, and I've seen that with mixed parents too, actually. Giving credence to each other's intelligence and feelings, and not putting your pride before the other person. Like your pride doesn't come first, your partner does. And also being the other one's cheerleader, knowing when you have to pick up the pieces so that somebody else can fly, so your partner can fly. I think that's really important. I saw a lot of that with my parents. Like my dad would take on my mom's work when she needed to do something else, and vice versa. And that's something that, naturally me and my husband sort of gravitated towards. But also, we were blessed having seen our parents have a marriage of equals in both our lives.
Yeah. It's so cool that you both came from that same place.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
thankfully.
Yeah. And something that was really unique about the book, I thought, was that you don't shy away from describing experiences that weren't as successful for you, like trying to launch a music career in the US. And you don't like try to put a rosy spin on it or even like paint a lesson from it or anything like that. Um, how did you develop this kind of like level of comfort with like quote unquote failure?
I hate failure, just like everyone else. But I think that in my job, which is so transient, and literally um, every single project, you know, is only success or failure. There's nothing in the middle, right? It's not like,
Yeah.
yeah, it did okay. It doesn't matter if it did okay. Every single thing, did it fail or did it succeed? So
Yeah.
now, almost 20 years in the business, I had to quickly come to terms with the fact that if I was going to let failure pull me down, I would drown very soon. And when it comes to sinking or swimming, I'm always going to be the one who tries to swim, um, until I can't. But so I think like you have to come to you have to come to terms with the fact that failure is going to happen and it'll happen to everyone. And um, it's what you do after you fail that defines who you become. And
Yeah.
I learned that lesson very early on.
Yeah. And so shifting gears a little bit, on your most recent movie, the Netflix movie, The White Tiger, you were an executive producer in addition to starring in it. What do you like about being a producer?
Oh my gosh. The executive producer and as a producer, they're such different jobs, first of all. As an EP on The White Tiger, it was my job to make sure that the film didn't get in the put in the box of a genre movie or an
Mm,
independent movie. It was my job to bring the movie to a place where it had mainstream exposure, where people saw it like a mainstream movie. Because, usually in Hollywood, when we see an all Indian star cast, it gets put into that box. It's not seen as mainstream entertainment. And I always knew the story is universal. It's fun. It's dark. It's provocative cinema, and it deserves a mainstream it deserves the mainstream limelight. And that's what I did as an EP. That's where I came in using Netflix's large reach, global reach. It was my job to make sure that, it is seen by most people, to promote it day and night. And it makes me so proud as a producer to be at the helm of an all Indian star cast movie being, the number one movie in the world on the largest platform in the world. And that's historic, and it makes me so proud.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And what else are you working on right now? I read that you're working on a buddy comedy with Mindy Kaling, for example.
Yes, that's also so exciting. I love Mindy, and I'm such an admirer of hers. And I just called her one day, and I was like, "You want to do a movie together?" And she said,
Amazing.
um, and she said, let's meet for lunch. We did. We talked about the kind of movie we wanted to do, and she got really excited, and she said she'd write it. And now we finished writing it, and I'm filming till the end of this year, so I'm hoping to be able to shoot it next year. But it's very, very exciting. That movie's going to be so fun.
Yeah. And what are you reading and watching right now?
Good question. I am looking for a book at the moment. I was reading Arvind Adiga's Amnesty, which is Arvind's next new novel. Arvind Adiga wrote The White Tiger. He's the original author of The White Tiger. So I was reading his new book, which is really great, and I recommend it to people. I also read this amazing book called Untamed was great by Glennon Doyle, which I'm sure most people have read. Homegoing is this book which
Mm.
I've discovered, which I recommend to a lot of people. It's by Yaa Gyazi, and it's phenomenal. So that's the reading, and I'm looking for what my next book is going to be. And what I've been watching a lot of movies. I watched Malcolm and Marie yesterday. I watched the
Mm.
documentary Descendant. I watched, Minari. I watched Mank. Um, I've been doing a lot of the Oscar movie screeners these days
Yeah.
because the Oscars are coming up and the screening, I love the screeners that come. But also I watched The Undoing, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Bridgerton, of course.
And one question I've been asking everyone is who's the woman who's been most inspirational or influential in your life?
I have a cliched answer, but I have to say it's my mom.
Yeah.
My mother is such an amazing, cool woman. She's such an overachiever, and she makes overachieving seem cool. Like she's a doctor, she's done you know, she speaks multiple languages, she's flown a plane before, she's like constantly looking for adventure and travel, and I find that so fascinating, the zest she has for life. And she taught me from a very young age that as a girl, since I was 9, I think, one of the first lessons my mother told me was, you're going to be financially independent. It doesn't matter
Mm,
whose daughter you are, it doesn't matter whose wife you will be. You will be financially independent. And it was such an important lesson in sort of a sense of self that my mother gave me. I
yeah.
admire her tremendously for the woman she helped me become.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And I know we're coming up on time, so I'll ask you just a couple more questions. What are you most excited for when things start to go back to like quote unquote normal?
Never doing a Zoom call again. Thank you. Next. Do it. I am
Yeah.
tired of Zooms. I want to meet people. I want to see people. I don't want to be afraid of people. I want to go to a concert. I want to, go to theater. I want to go to restaurant, meet friends. Especially because I've been on the job. I've been filming since October. I am in extra hyper isolation because, um, you know, there's so many people watching movies that someone has to make them. That's like my job. Um, and when you're on set, actors are the only ones that actually have to take off their masks. So it's very daunting to
Yeah.
be at work and sort of feel that way. And, you can't really meet a lot of people. My husband was here for a while, though he's gone back to LA now. My mom's been here. I refuse to let her go back to India. I've kept her with me. But yeah, it's just I miss friends and family and travel and um, shows.
Yeah. And then last question. What's one piece of advice you've gotten that's guided you?
In life.
Yes.
Um, to have the courage of conviction, I think. Whatever your decisions are, even if they're good or if they're not, to be able to stand by them,
Yeah.
you know. Integrity, I guess. That's been a big life lesson of mine.
Yeah, that's huge. Well, thank you so much for joining us on my Monday morning, and congratulations again on your new memoir.
Well, thank you for having me on Monday morning.
Of course.
So
Take
fun.
care.
Thanks
Thank you
everyone
everyone
for
for tuning in.
watching. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.